Johnny Depp is a matinee idol that sold his soul to the devil. This is not unusual in Hollywood. In fact, it's just business as usual. It's a sad fact that all of your matinee idols, the people on the highest levels of Hollywood and the entertainment industries, have signed the contract, have sold their souls. You'll know them by their signs. Once they've sold their souls for fame, they have to represent. I know it's really hard for people to believe, but once you've reached the top levels of the Hollywood industry, the highest levels of the entertainment industry in general, you have sold your soul to that system for fame. The entertainment industry really is run by the Illuminati. You can use other names for that as well, but essentially they're Satanists on a very high level. And the easiest way to see who the puppets are and who's being controlled, one of the most simple ways to figure it all out is just to follow the signs and symbols. We get attached to our idols. We begin to love our idols. We sometimes worship our idols. Hollywood really is about magic, about smoke and mirrors, about illusion. Most importantly, it's all about mind control, about programming the public. They're very good at what they do. And these jesters, these comedians, these jesters of the New World Order system, if you will, we fall in love with them. They become a part of the family. They become someone you think you can relate to. That's why it's so hard for people to fathom the truth about the satanic entertainment industry. It's so hard to believe that these people that come into our bedrooms and our living rooms and our minds at all times through all kinds of entertainment, people that we feel like are friends, people we feel like we know, it's so hard to believe that they're being used for nefarious purposes. They're being used to push forth the satanic agenda. Let me show you a couple of examples in movies. Check this out. This is from the movie 22 Jump Street. That's Jonah Hill. Here's a better shot of it. Once again, this is from 22 Jump Street. That's Jonah Hill. The number 322 is meant to be there. That's a plant. What's so interesting about the 322 being featured prominently in this scene is its connection to the American Illuminati, the Skull and Bones, the 322. You can call that a coincidence if you like to, but I don't think so. Merely for the fact I see this in practically every movie or TV show I watch anymore. There's always one of these signs or symbols. Sometimes it's the 322, sometimes it's the OK sign or the 666 with the hands, sometimes it's the horns. It could be all kinds of things. Let me show you another example I recently saw. Here's a screenshot from a new movie from Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie's called Sabotage. Of course, the movie was terrible, but something I noticed, of course, in the left-hand corner over there is your Illuminati sign, the pyramid with the eye. Really had no reason to be in this scene whatsoever. This is the way these things turn up a lot. So also part of the process when we're picking these things apart in films and TV shows and whatnot is confirmations. You know, if there's just one, okay, maybe it's just one. I'm usually looking for something else. Well, sure enough, about half an hour later in this movie, we have this scene. And again, right there in the back, not only do you see the pyramid with the eye, but on the bottom you actually see the Freemason square and compass with the G in the middle. So this is obvious. They wanted this to be in the scene. This is in a different location. It's not the same place. They never mention it. It has nothing to do with the movie, nothing to do with the scene, really nothing at all, except that it's there. This is the way they signal each other. You know, they're in. They've signed the contract. They're part of that system, that beast system, that Illuminati system. That satanic system. It all has the same agenda, and again, that is programming the way we think, predictive programming and social engineering. And speaking of which, let's check out this new movie from Johnny Depp. Transcendence from Johnny Depp. Well, first and foremost, just as far as a movie goes in general, I thought it was horrible. It's not even really entertaining, and there's not really even a bad guy. That's the whole thing about it. This movie is total predictive programming, total social engineering, totally trying to set us up for what's coming, which is this idea of a hive system, a beast system, but a hive mind, everybody being plugged into the same mindset, the same, again, beast system. Transcendence is just another one of those Hollywood movies that's pushing a New World Order agenda in the biggest way possible. They cover several of the ideas in this movie. The whole idea of transhumanism anyway is huge. You should look into that as well. It's a combining of man with machine to make us better. But the underlying idea of all that is that God didn't do it right, that we can do better than God, that we can be our own gods. We see that idea in Transcendence as well. Johnny Depp's character, where you would think he would turn into a bad guy, basically putting his soul into the internet or all computers in that entire system. You'd think he'd go crazy, kind of like the bad guy from Lawnmower Man, which I guess this is kind of based off of. But not so much. In fact, they go the other route. In this movie, Johnny Depp portrays the God-Man. The God-Man is another one of those ideas we see pushed in a lot of these Illuminati movies. We see this idea of the God-Man portrayed in many movies and TV shows. There's an example right here as well from The Watchmen. You can see a lot of this hive mind symbolism with a lot of the so-called Illuminati artists out there. You see the bees, you'll see the honeycombs. A lot of times you'll see the octagon symbol from the honeycombs. And that's also connected with Saturn, and that's a whole other level of research right there. But as I said, you can see a lot of times you'll see these bees, you'll see honeycombs, you'll see this hive mind idea. Once again, that is the idea of like the Borg. It's the idea that we will all share a collective consciousness and nobody will be thinking on their own. Johnny Depp meditates in a room full of vampire memorabilia. The Public Enemy's actor is fascinated by the mythical blood-sucking creatures and has a space in his London home full of items relating to them. A source explained to National Enquirer magazine, Johnny has a whole room devoted to vampires. He's fascinated by them. Johnny uses the room to relax, meditate, and be alone. I have to give you fair warning, this is a spoiler alert for the end of the movie Transcendence. Not that you're missing out on much in the first place. But in keeping with the idea of the God-Man, this Illuminati idea of the God-Man, that we can achieve godhood without God, in keeping with that idea, at the end of the movie Transcendence, Johnny Depp has meshed himself with nanotechnology and has spread himself all around the world. And the effect is he's making everything flourish. The world's growing back. The rainforests are coming back. Everything's beautiful. Everything's working out great. Surprised? Well, you shouldn't be. Johnny Depp is just another Illuminati tool. He's a puppet being used by this satanic system to program the public. Hey,